is awesome. I didn't even know we had that. You're watching Gouche Live, Aussie style, and I've got a big present for you guys. Yes, I do. You know who I got? I got the Rosen Report. Paul Rosen. What's going on, Rosie?
Hey, Gouche, I love that. That was actually, it kind of looked like professional news coming in from with a 6-5. It was cool.
Yeah, and then 4, and then 3,
2-1.
and 2, 1.
Yeah.
What's going on? You're up late.
Just watching some hockey. There's been some good games on tonight. Austin Matthews on fire.
Yeah. Well, I think you as a goalie have to say it right off the bat. Congratulations to Jack Campbell. I know I've been a little bit hard on the story. Not that I don't hope that he got it, just the fact that it's great. It's done. Now they got to focus on, for sure. Hey, go for 12, 13, doesn't matter. But I'm just concerned about the Leafs goaltending. But, man, and 5 goals. You got to give it to the Ottawa Senators too, Paul. They didn't quit. There's no quitting that team.
No, scored a very late one, and Stitzel's goal was an absolute beauty. This kid can release the puck. Like, wow, absolutely.
Same with that Austin Matthews dude. 3 goals, 1 assist, 8 points between Marner and Matthews.
31 goals for Matthews now. He's got, I think he's got the Rocket Richard locked up.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough. But you know what? Every time Matthew does something special, McDavid comes out and does something special tonight. And they're playing the lowly Calgary Flames. I talked with Randy Osborne on internet saying, hey, you know what? I think Calgary's going to beat Edmonton tonight just to be a statement. And he said, no chance. And he's a big Flame fan.
Watch McDavid will score 6 tonight.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it's Aussie style. Obviously, we got a bunch of great people on. Bill Siegloff, President and Secretary of the Australian Para Ice Hockey Association. You've met him while we were over. I got a bunch of pictures we're going to show. And then, of course, Sam Trapolino, almost like Pete Bombacci.
Sam's one of my favorites, absolutely. And I think he's got an absolute love affair for the game of hockey, ice hockey.
Yes. Absolutely. Why wouldn't he? Look at him.
You know, there's just something about that logo, about the yellow and green and the Australia and the kangaroo. It's just unbelievable. Love it. Absolutely love it. One of my favorite sweater logos in the entire world.
That the designer definitely knew what they were doing. I think they hit a home run for that for sure. So no, it represents beautifully. How is everyone?
We're fantastic. Hey, listen, hello, Aaron Kuzak. Next week you're on the program. We need you on the program.
Get back.
We got so many people on the program tonight. It's going to be incredible. Bill Siegloff coming just up, but I wanted to talk a little bit about what's all going on with the 3 of us. Paul, of course, we saw some great NHL. There's still more to go. You know, San Jose is up against LA Kings, a really important game for obviously the San Jose Sharks. You and I had a program on the Rosen Report Roundtable. We had a really good discussion about some of the things that are going on. Your thoughts right now for all the Aussie fans. Obviously, people know you. You were the coach of Team Canada for Ice Hockey Classic. You've been on the ice with the boys, of course. Look at this great shot. Well, there, first and foremost, look at that.
That is awesome.
That was when we came. That was when we came back a few months after we came back from Torino in 2006. I just turned 46. We got the gold medal. It was. It's crazy to think about. We haven't won since then. That was March of 2006, and America won in 10. America won in 14. America won in 18. It's just. It's been tough to knock them off the top of the mountain. But really quick, what you said about San Jose, Gouche. This is a huge game. Like, they are still in the playoff hunt for that 4th spot. And if they make it in, you know, as good as anybody else, you know, you make it in the dance, anything's possible. You didn't say anything about your Winnipeg Jets with a huge 5-0 win over Montreal tonight.
It was a statement game. I didn't need to say anything because I knew you were going to bring it up. Thanks, Paul, for that. But, hey, what about Chicago tonight? What a great game.
Good.
Yeah, big win over Columbus. Columbus is in serious trouble. And Nashville lost against Tampa. So Chicago picked up 2 points. They're only 3 points or 2 or 3 points back of a playoff spot.
Oh, how good kid. Sorry. Yeah. Good. No, I'm just saying, Paul, how good are the Blackhawks doing with Taze being out? Did you expect him to go as well?
No, not even close. We've talked about this. I think Taze is going to retire very soon. It's sad. Nobody said what it is, but it's not a good thing. But the Hawks, I just thought, let's have a fun year, and 56 games. That the fact that they're still in a playoff spot, have a chance. Okay, Nashville's taken over fourth, but I'm very, very excited about what they've done this year, and I'm proud of them.
They've ridden the wave after playoffs last year. They've seemingly taken that enthusiasm, what they had, and they had a hell of a run for a team that wasn't meant to make a noise. And I've loved watching their progress.
Yeah, they knocked.
Listen, I see numbers.
No, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, buddy. Numbers in the house. See him in the green room with Coops. I hope Coops stays. We can chat with him along with Darren. Of course, numbers. He's in the room, and of course, we got Bill Siegloff coming up in just a second. I wanted to say this about the Hawks. Craig Campbell, who's obviously over there, a good friend of ours and a referee that refereed the Ice Hockey Classic. His buddy, kid, was called up to the Chicago Blackhawks, scores his first goal tonight, Paul, Wyatt Kalynuk.
Yeah.
I hope that's the way you say his name.
Listen, if anybody's going to get it wrong, it's going to be you and me.
You got it. Well, anyways, congratulations. We're going to try and get him on. We're going to get a first goal for the Chicago Blackhawks. I think they make it. I think they're going to pull it off, and they're going to end up in fourth in that division. And, of course, San Jose, we're hoping they do. We already know that Winnipeg Jets are there. We know the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think with this win tonight, even though it was, again, a scare, 6-5 against Ottawa, those Ottawa Senators aren't going away. Hey, listen, guys, we could talk all night about NHL. That's not why we're here today. We're talking para ice hockey. In the old days, you and me, Paul, it'd be sledge hockey, but they've converted it to para ice hockey, a great name. And, of course, we got the president, the big guy, the kahuna, Bill Siegloff.
Jeez.
There you go,
Look at that
guys.
mustache. That is a world-class mustache.
Hey,
Well, you sort of need intimidation. It's not how you play the game. You just got to scare the other team and hope that works.
No, you know what? The only thing that intimidates
A
is an
barber.
electrician. Could you imagine putting those things in? That's why they have those little caps that go over the plugs. You just don't want to stick those in. Man, how do you make toast? Seriously. You go put the toast in the toaster, put it down, boom. You're on fire.
Hey,
I saw that. I saw that in Bugs Bunny. Billy, what's going on? Great to have you. Hey, all the way from Argentina. We are worldwide, guys. We're not only in Australia, but our very good friend, Matthew Meisner, all the way from Argentina's on. Did you know there's ice hockey in Argentina?
It's great to hear. It's
There's
awesome.
ice hockey everywhere now.
And you know what's crazy, guys, is he's from Buffalo, and he's a Buffalo Sabres fan in Argentina. He left Buffalo just to go to Argentina, how bad the Sabres are playing.
Yeah, I could believe that.
All right, Billy, listen, great to have you. Sammy, of course, we're really excited about all the great news. Lots of stuff going on the side here. Aaron Kuzak saying, big win for you, the Hawks. Good evening, boys. Barry Shelley, always great to have you. Go Sharks. Hey, Randy Osborne just brought you up, kid. Lanny McDonald's stash. I'm not sure.
No. Yeah.
Aaron Kuzak. Rosie's head was intimidating enough without a helmet.
Yeah, well, that was a fierce photo there, Rosie. Fierce photo.
Oh, how endearing is that? That's not the person I want to be facing when I come out on
Look
the
at that thing. Look at him.
Oh.
Yeah, they wanted me. You know what? They said be mean, so I said, all right.
Well, look at this one.
Nightmares.
Yeah. Nothing better than playing for your country, eh, Bill?
Mate, that was amazing. That was just before the medal presentations about to go on the ice. It was, it's surreal, really.
Yeah. Well, you know what? My wish to Australia is with hard work and some good players coming up the system that you'll be in the B pool soon, and down the road the A pool. It'd be nothing better. I call the games for the A pool for the last number of years. Be nothing better for me. Let's say the 2032 games. I call Australia in the A pool.
Whoa. I don't know if I'll be able to walk by then. And we got to get Numbers, who's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, we'll hear his story. Billy, I'm sure you know it. Paul is going to personally tutor Numbers to be arguably the greatest goaltender of all time in para hockey for the Australians. What do you think, Paul?
He'll be the greatest goalie in Australia. I'll guarantee that. I'm not going to say the greatest goalie in the world. Let's give it some time.
I didn't say that.
We'll give it in Australia. Yes, that I will put that out. That I will work with him, and he will be an absolute legend in Australia. That's for sure.
Sam, you know what my concern is, because he said the 2032 Olympics. Yeah. I don't know how old Numbers is going to be by then. He'll probably be older than you, for God's sake.
2022 is coming up next year in Beijing. So let's say 2026, 2030. Let's go with 30. Because 2026, it's going to be impossible to jump from C pool to A pool in 2 games. So we'll go 2030, okay, Gouche?
All right.
That gives them
and I heard that, you might try and make a comeback and be on the other team too. How's that, Rosie?
No, if you could pull some strings and I'd play for Australia, I'd come out of retirement. But I'm going to be.
Well, you could. You've just got to change your nationality.
I'm going to be 61 in a couple of weeks, so I don't know whether that might break some records.
Paul, I love you, but let's put Numbers in net.
Oh, no, I agree.
You're going to get him ready. All right, listen, let's get to Billy. Let's get right into it, kid. Congratulations on the announcement. The para ice hockey, obviously, the Australian Para Ice Hockey Association, who you are the president and secretary of, have signed a deal with the Ice Hockey Australia. Talk to us about that, please.
This has been over 2 years coming. We've organised to, instead of having separate structure as a separate organisation affiliated to Ice Hockey Australia, to be a subcommittee council directly under Ice Hockey Australia governance. And that way we will have a director of the portfolio, and members from every state will have input, and we have a direct access to our future. It's looking good for state and national titles, and it's just a massive task that we've got through. And I really have to thank Miranda Ransom, the previous president of Ice Hockey Australia, because without her work, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Bill, listen, so, sled hockey, it started as sledge hockey, 1994 were the first games in Lillehammer, and then Nagano in 98, and Salt Lake City and Torino, Vancouver, Sochi, Korea, and now getting ready for the next games next winter in Beijing. From the time, and it's huge that para ice hockey in Australia is become a family with Ice Hockey Australia, because when sled hockey in Canada really took off, it's when Hockey Canada took it over. When USA para hockey took off, it's when USA Hockey took over and worked together. And that's how it's going to be, climb the ladder fast. When you guys started just a short while ago, could you imagine that you'd be where you are today, that you'd have that jersey on you right now, have a chance to have played any games, and see the amount of people with disabilities just in Australia getting excited to play this great game?
It's a dream. It's like it's 2017. It's 4 years.
Yeah.
To get where we are now, it's not a long time. We were probably premature going to World Championships, but Paralympics Australia wanted to throw mud against the wall and see if it sticks. And, it's been a lot of work, but hugely successful. And what I want to do before I step back from any governance is I want to try and get New Zealand involved and get a Trans-Tasman Challenge going.
Yeah, that would be incredible, because it's like Canada and the US. The two countries become stronger when they play, a friendly 3 games. It's never friendly, but 3 games here, 5 games. People always used to say to me, "Hey, when you played like a 2 out of 3 friendly with," I go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's never friendly. When Canada plays US, it's never friendly. When Australia plays New Zealand, it's never friendly."
It's never friendly.
What's the short-term goals for para ice hockey Australia, and what's the long-term goals?
Short-term goal is to have a program in every state of Australia that people can be involved, and we can get people with a disability or people who can't skate or have never skated involved in a sport that their children might be involved in. It's just about having the ability to increase the impact of ice hockey in a different way. So the long-term goal is, like you say, we want to be in Beeple and we want to try and get to the Paralympics. That's the long-term goal. And by opening this up and getting more involvement, more ownership from the states, we can then get the people that need to be in those positions there and help them achieve their goals as well.
Bill, we're talking para hockey, obviously. So that obviously involves a disability of some kind. For our viewers, could you please tell us what what enables you to be a part of this? What disability you have? If I may say disability, I know it's an ability. I hate to use that word. My son's autistic, and when people say disability, I say, there's so many things this boy can do. So please, if you could explain for our viewers your situation.
So if we take it from ability or disability and we just go by classification, because you have to be classified to play in Paralympics. So to classify, you must have a lower leg impairment. So if you've got an amputation above the ankle, I personally have no kneecaps because I smashed them in an accident in the military. So I've had them removed for 21 years now. So that has reduced strength in my leg and muscle movement, and through that of loss of muscle movement, I can classify. There's other people with cerebral palsy because of things. There's muscular issues. So people who have a lower leg impairment. So it's not like other sports which would have intellectual classifications. Yep. The only classification for para ice hockey is a lower leg impairment. However, at a local level, that does not stop you jumping in a sled and playing. It's only if you want to go play internationally.
Yep.
So we can build up people, able-bodied people are quite welcome, and it's a really, really good sport for people who haven't skated, who want to have, like ex-military with PTSD, who want a tight group of a contact sport which has got adrenaline in it to be part of something. So that works as well.
Well, I might have to get into this because Gouche has the only video of me ever skating live, and I look like a very poor giraffe on ice, and it's gotten a little bit better, but I think I need to sit my butt down because that's where I usually end up. So,
whoa. Not a giraffe. It does not look like a giraffe. It looks more like Bambi.
Gouche, if I can just say one thing right here to jump on what Bill said, that's critical to the success of club para ice hockey or sled hockey. It's critical. This is like at the Paralympic level. Yes, Bill's 100% right. You have to have an impairment from the waist down. The best players in the world at the Paralympic level are double amputees, above the knee double amputees, because they have all their stomach core and that. But there's players all over the world that have, whether they're paralyzed from the waist down or different things. But to the club level, the critical thing to make it work is having able-bodied players play. There is no way in Canada, the club game is huge. In Ontario, it's massive. And I'd say 60 to 70% of all players are able-bodied. The great thing about the game is that you can have a family where there's 3 kids. One of the boys or girls, has got a disability, whether they're amputee or whether they have, like you said, CP or paralyzed, and their brother and sister are able-bodied, they can't play any sport together, but on the ice, in the sled, they are equal. You know, the able-bodied boy or girl can play and be as good in that sled or better. So it's for everybody watching in Australia now, get in a sled. If you're where you live is going to have a team, it's critical for the success of the disabled community, for the able-bodied community to play this game.
100%. I want to add to that.
Ryan Winslow, I hope you boys are listening from the ice arena, because I'm coming to ask.
I want to add to that, if I don't mind. Sam, the way you skate, you should get in a sled. But what I do want to say is that I've been in a sled, Paul. I don't know if you remember, we had Paul Henderson with the Bacardi story. I think you were there. Yeah, you remember that. And so I got in this sled, and it is not easy. Let me tell you, it was harder to do that than actually skate. And plus, at the end of it, I had Popeye arms. Like, you're going and you're beating the band, and I'm trying to shoot. God, Billy Bridges can shoot the puck at like 90 miles an hour. I couldn't even break balsa wood with my shot. So it is, and what I really liked about it, and you said it, Sam, and I know you, Bill, believe this, and I always hear it from Paul, this is not a disability. What you guys can do in a sled, me as an able body, I can't do it. And so I really tip my hat off to you. And I really think what you've just said too, Paul, is so important. We need to build this game up. I know that you're going to be a big part of it with Billy. We're going to work with you, Billy. We're going to give you all of our efforts because of Paul being such a phenomenal ambassador, not only for Stop Concussions, but para hockey around the world. We're really excited to be a part of that. So I wanted to say this, a couple of comments come on the side before we bring numbers up. Paul has his own puck. Should have sent a picture. That's right. Barry Shelley, you've got a gold medal puck from our good friend, Dennis.
Yeah, absolutely. Dennis Frazili.
John LaRoche, Jordan's father. Jordan is just growing as one of our favorites, along with Val, of course, as one of our producers. This is fantastic that John has joined us. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's in Taiwan. I think he's in Hong Kong, but he's in Taiwan.
I think Jordan told me he's in Thailand.
Thailand. Okay. Thailand, Taiwan, kind of around the same spot. But hockey's more than a game. And I think that Persified in programs like Para, congratulations. There are so many great things that are going on. And guys, Billy, what you're doing for the Australians and para hockey, compliment. And of course, we have to do a shout out to the APIHA and Kelvin and I think Emmett, all those great people out there, Bill, that I know you're going to be working with in the future, but you're the motor behind it. I want to do a big shout out to you. Aaron Kuzak. If the Jamaicans were in the bobsled, the Aussies can play sledge hockey. We are one of the all-time greatest sledging countries. All right, I'll take that one. And then, can we get our multiple world champion tennis stars and basketball multiple gold medalists on the ice in sled? I think that's needed because we had Paul Henderson, who scored arguably the greatest goal in Canadian history in it, and he had a blast. So I think we're going to need stuff like that as you go along. One more thing, Coops, we're bringing your dad up right now. Really excited about it. But we are honored, and Paul, you'll be honored to buy this. This is amazing. Marshall Starkman, thank you for joining us. Let's hope for a Team Canada training camp down under while I'm still around. Marshall, with Paul and Bill and our Ice Hockey Classics, Paul, we will make it. Maybe not this in 2022, but by 2024, that's our goal. Paul, I'm leaving it with you and Bill to figure out how we could bring Team Canada with Billy Bridges and the boys down to do a little tour around Australia, playing the Australians. How great would that be?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Marshall's watching, and he is an incredible general manager for Team Canada. And Team Canada right now is getting prepared. They're in full training camp mode for the World Championships. We'll be back in Ostrava in the Czech Republic. I think it's the June 19th to the 27th. I'm just crossing my fingers that I'm able to go with Alan March and the IPC. I call the world's 2 years ago in 2019 in Ostrava. Also, there was no games last year because of COVID, but hopefully we're going to try to pull some strings to get the COVID restrictions so I can get there to call the games again this year. And Canada is going to. I'm going to go out on a limb. You know, the last games they should have won. It was so close. The games in 18 in Korea, they lost in overtime. The team is young. It's hungry. Great goaltending with Dominic Larocque as their number one guy right now, and Corbin Watson. Bridges in his sixth, I said it, sixth Paralympic Games. The guy's a monster. Canada will win the gold in Ostrava in June.
Sounds like Mark Messier making the guarantee for the Stanley Cup. Listen, Bill, we're going to get you in touch with Marshall Starkman. Paul, you and I can get that organized. Marshall will help. He's an amazing man and will help us get the Australians to do Miracle on Ice. They almost did it. If I'm not, Squaw Valley. I think the 1960, the Australians played in the World Championships. And Marshall's coming out and saying, I love your prediction, Paul. All right, listen, the sport that you're building is incredible. And it's as you mentioned, Paul, is for able-bodied. But we have one great guy that's helped us with the Ice Hockey Classic. His son has been absolutely amazing, helped build the rinks, sleep very little hours. He was actually... Our little Coops was actually there the night in Sydney when he was watering the ice, and I get a phone call. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. Gouche, you better get here. So what are you talking about? I think we have a leak. What do you mean we got a leak? So I raced from the hotel, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd only had a couple hours of sleep. I come in and I look. There's nothing wrong. And there's Coops watering. I said, "What's wrong, Coops?" "Go downstairs." "What do you mean, go downstairs?" We're in the top of the 4th floor in the Sydney Convention Center, the ICC. So the security guard comes and gets me. We go to this, we're on the 4th floor. We go to the 3rd floor. I look around. Oh, there's a little trip. It's no big deal. We go to the 2nd floor. Oh my God, it's a waterfall. Like there was a window. I couldn't see through the window. We go to the 1st floor. There's water everywhere. I go to the basement. We had washed 40 cars, and I still have not sent them the bill for doing the car wash downstairs. It was a nightmare. So I'll tell you what, the Coops family has been super. And Numbers, here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Numbers.
Welcome, Numbers.
Hey guys, how you going?
Hey Darren, how are you?
Brother, how are you?
What's up, guys? Rosie, how you going, man?
You looking good, brother. You're looking really good. How you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. Real good. No pain, really. Just got out of the hospital a couple of days ago, Wednesday evening. So just adjusting to life at home and trying to get around, and had to take all the doors off everything, and so I can get through the doorways and everything in my wheelchair. But yeah, adjusting well and getting through it.
Yeah.
Hey, Sam, I know we've got lots to go on. So, Paul, I'm going to let you talk to Numbers first. You can ask some questions. Then, Bill, I'm sure now we can start getting into some questions for you guys to start answering. But I first got to say to Sam and Paul, to play for the para hockey team for Australia, do you have to have that weird looking beard? Like, is that a prerequisite or what?
That might be a tough one in the mask to let it all hang down. Somebody might try to pull it on you. But
no, he's got plenty of picks on a stick.
Yeah,
you got it.
And the back end of the glove.
Everybody out there, Numbers, we're going to let you tell your story, please, if you don't mind, so people can understand what you've gone through. Obviously, Paul, you've been a big inspiration. Coops, I don't know, is Coops, is your son there?
Yeah, he's around somewhere.
Okay, wave at him. Tell him we love him. Tell me loving him. Obviously, he drew the attention. I heard the story. I was shocked because I'd seen you several times. And here's a great picture of you with, right there. We were together. You're having a beer. We're talking hockey. You're a big Flyers fan. Preems is saying hello. I know there's a couple more videos coming. Talk to us. There's Coops. Coops is in the house. So talk to us about the story, because your son Coops wrote me an email, and I was shocked. I called Paul right away, and I said, "Paul, what do you do?" Like I didn't even know the words to say, because it's only the second time in my life outside of Paul. Paul, you don't know it, but the gentleman that Karen was staying with at the end of her life, outside of yourself, Rice, I can't remember his first name off the top. He just had his leg partly amputated too. So those are the only two people I've been involved. Numbers, please talk to us and let us understand.
Yeah. So, it's probably about 10, 12 years ago, I started having a lot of nerve pain and things in my feet, and put up with that for a while. And I started getting after about 4 or 5 years, a collapse in my left foot. So I went to a podiatrist, and they diagnosed me with a Charcot foot in my left foot. Got some orthotics, but I was a bit too late. Spent a year or two on the orthotics, but the left foot just kept getting worse and worse. And, I had a fall here and an injury there, and I get a fracture, and with the nerve damage, you can't feel it. So kept working on it. And then, just work and everything sort of came. I've been driving trucks my whole life with that clutch foot. And obviously I work for the Ice Factory, driving all the kids around in the bus. And, doctors told me sort of 3 or 4 years ago that Charcot is pretty bad. We can fix it. We'll put you in a plaster cast for 10 to 11 months, and then do a few operations, rebuild your foot and ankle. But you're looking at 3 to 4 years in bed, no weight bearing. So, if you got guys that know me, sport's my life. I couldn't do that. Couldn't sit in bed for 3 to 4 years. Sport is everything to me every day of the week. So I sort of ignored them, kept going to work, got to pay the bills, kept driving. Started getting worse and worse. So the last couple of years, I've been pushing for the doctors to chop it off. I didn't want to spend 4 or 5 years in bed. I wanted, 6 months, get a new leg, get on with it. So it took them a while to convince them. I had a bit of a fall just before COVID and snapped my ankle. But went to work the next day and drove the bus because I don't have much feeling, and obviously just love working with the kids, love ice hockey. It's just the way life is. And so beginning of the year, December, they sort of said, all right, we'll do this. Got prepared, got in the gym, worked hard. March 12th came, got my date, got in, got it chopped off. And now I'm back at home, being out of hospital 4 days, and looking forward to working, getting hard, and trying to play some para hockey. That's my dream. So it's been since I met Paul 2-3 years ago. I sort of thought, this is what I want to do. Eventually, I sort of joked about it, losing my leg and everything, but it was sort of a thought, I can do this. I get on with my life and follow Paul Rosen in his footsteps, and become a goalie and try and play for the World Cup and represent Australia. So that's where I'm at, just starting my journey now.
Well, Numbers, I feel the emotion in you talking, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, brother. In 1997 when I got sick, and it's hard for people to understand that aren't going through it. I went 2 years, like you've got the 2 years where you have no life. The pain is continuous. You can't do anything. When you're doing it, you're in agony, and then it's almost like a snap of a finger. On June 8th, 1999, they say the trouble with the leg, we can't do anything anymore. June 9th, they amputate the leg. June 10th, I'm 100% healthy. And that's what it is. And I think it's guys like you and me that can make the industry, make the doctors understand that, living a life that is full with one leg is much better than living a disastrous life with 2 legs. Like, I say this when I meet families, the parents, I say legs are overrated. They really are. And I don't mean to be a smart ass, but legs, when it comes to a disease like we both had with our legs, the leg is worthless. It can't do anything for you. You take the leg off, you get yourself feeling better, you get an artificial leg, and your life goes on. And you are going to be, I'm telling you, this is the first time we're talking face to face right now. And I'm telling you right now, as the strength gets back and you get the artificial leg, you're going to start to climb that mountain. And when you get to the top of the mountain, and you're going to, I know you are, 100% you are, you're just too strong. The view from the top of the mountain is spectacular. And I just want to look at you, look out from the top of the mountain. Talk to us about the where you are right now in your recovery. How long until you get a leg?
So I sort of got out of hospital a week or two earlier than most guys. Just been hitting the gym 3 times a day in there. Like, they get you to do 1 session, but I'm back there an hour later, have a break, see if I can get on the arm bike and spend 15 minutes doing 7K on the arm bike. whatever I can. I've been going next door to the actual gym and using the machines there to get my upper body strength happening. But yeah, they're looking probably a week and a half for my wound to heal up properly, and then I can put on a shrinker. Apparently, it's about a week in the shrinker to shrink down my stump and shape it, and then I can size me up for my first leg to start practicing and learning how to walk. So hopefully, I'm about 3 weeks away from getting my first leg.
Are you, because we haven't discussed this, are you an above knee or below knee?
Below knee.
Oh, it's such a huge difference to be able to have your own knee. So you once you get your leg and you start walking, you're gonna fly. When are you looking towards getting in a sled and starting to work?
Well, the doctors will probably hold me back. I'd be in there tomorrow if I could. But yeah, I'm about to speak to you about learning some techniques and front on goalie, side on goalie, and all that. So as soon as I can, I'm hoping, realistically, I'll probably get a leg in 3 or 4 weeks. Apparently 2-3 weeks to learn how to use it. So in a month or two, I'd like to be out in the ice and having a go.
Okay. And we're going to, over the next little while with Bill, we'll talk about the different ways. I'd love to see you sit in a sled the way I did, with your leg that you have crossed over and the stump tucked up in. We'll figure a way to protect you tucked up in, as opposed to your leg being long. I think you're big enough that when you sit in the sled like I did, you're going to be able to take up way more of the net. I'm a big fan of that. Very few goalies now in the world have their leg long out. I don't know, Bill, what your thoughts on that is.
Well, I think personally the size of him, but also Numbers has got a background that'll suit hockey, para-hockey goaling. He's played baseball a long time, so he's used to having a glove hand.
Well, and for the people that know me, that's how I got my success in goal. Is I was a catcher in baseball. And baseball was my first love. So catcher in baseball, you see some of those saves, pictures of me with the glove hand. That's the big thing. So if we get you in a sled where your legs crossed in like I was, and I don't know if Gouche can bring that picture up again with me, that's how you're going to be big. So that's how we want you, with the leg that you have, like mine is there. And then we figure out a way to protect your stump, because it has to be protected. The last thing you want to do is get hit in the end of the stump. It's absolute agony. And then we're gonna go. I'm looking forward to seeing you excel.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like I said, baseball's been my life since the age of 4. I've been a catcher nearly my whole life, playing A grade, playing state, in Australian development squads, all that sort of stuff. The last probably 10, 11 years I haven't played, but I've been coaching top level Division 1 over here. With that leg, the last 2 or 3 years, I've had to sort of sit down and just be game day manager, but I still can't take that uniform on Sundays. I've got to be there for Division 1 and 2. So baseball's been my life, and I love hockey. I've just fallen in love with it for the last 5 years, and I can't wait to get out in the ice and have a go at it. And goalie's going to be in my position, and I think I'll pick it up pretty quick. There's nothing but hard work's going to get me there, so I can't wait. Pretty excited.
Hey, Numbers, Bill here, mate.
Hey, buddy.
Not bad, mate. You're similar to me. Like, I've got into hockey because of my son. You're the same. Like, we've both got sons pretty similar ages.
Yeah.
And I want to be there to make sure your dream comes true, and that you're in a sled and you can play hockey with your son, because I know what it's like. Yeah. So I'm going to be there supporting you, mate, the whole way. Anything we can do, mate, you got to get in a sled, and you're the kingpin for South Australia. I've been trying to get South Australia on board. With the backing and support you've got, mate, this can't fail. So
100%. Before I was even out of hospital, I was into the rink a week and a half ago, speaking to all the powers to be, trying to get this program up and running and getting all the support. I've got everyone. I haven't spoken to JB yet to sign off on the ice time, but I've been in there a couple of times, haven't been able to find him, but I've got Murray Shaw, Sammy, all the guys in there, and there's a lot of coaches that I've grown up with and know that want to help me with it any way they can, Neil Ball and Corey Smith. So exciting times ahead, and I just can't wait to get at it.
And what position are we going to put Sam into?
Sam? Oh, I don't know. We'll see. We'll find him a spot on the wing or something.
I honestly thought I'd be a fantastic goalie. I just lay across the crease. God forbid if they can shoot to the corners, I'm rooted. But
it don't work like that. I think the spot's taken, Sam.
Yeah.
Oh God, you guys have got me all emotional here. Your kids kind of bringing you to sport. Look, I'm in hockey because of my daughter. We wanted a sport to do that we both never done, so that it's not dad showing her how to play hockey or golf or cricket. It was two new people to hockey, and the progression level has been a little bit quicker than mine. Marnie's loving it, but yeah, look, Darren, we haven't met formally. I've only met Coop a couple of times. I'm new to the Stop Concussions kind of Gouche live Brady bunch, I guess you'd call it, really, wouldn't you? It's a wonderful group of people, and I'm sitting back here and kind of how lucky are you? And I don't want to underplay anything that you're going through, but to have someone like Paul Rosen going through exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it's a blessing, and that's where I met him 3 years ago, and I was amazed, and I had a little think about it and think, well, mate, that if I lose my leg or if that goes down that way, that's what I want to do and that's what I want to be, and so I can't wait to have him. He's right by my side, and he's gonna get me to where I need to be, I think.
No, I met Paul, I think, at the same time, the 2018 Hockey Classic at the Entertainment Centre. I got photos out there. He had his gold medal, and I had no idea at the time. I was only there to watch the hockey, so I had no idea that he was an amputee of any kind. And he rolled up his leg, and there's the artificial, and it blew me away. And I guess I want to relate a story. When my son was born, I had him captaining the Australian cricket team. I had him playing football for Carlton. And then at 3, he was diagnosed with severe autism and global learning. And then all of a sudden this disability hit and my world was crushed. And all of a sudden I'm thinking the only reason I'm low is because my dreams for my son, not my son's dreams, were crushed. So from there, all we had to look at as my wife and I was, what does Dylan love to do? What's next for Dylan? So what's next for Numbers? What's your goal? Where are we going? What are we doing?
My goal is to play sled hockey, make the para hockey team, and hopefully make the World Cup one day as a goalie for Australia. Plus, I want to get back coaching full time on Sundays with Division 1 out at Kensington, and help my boy Gally out there as a coach. So yeah, they're the goals for me, and obviously get back on the bus. I want to get back to Ice Factor and working with the kids. So I've been told that's a pretty well. If I can't learn how to drive manual with the prosthetic, they're going to alter the bus so I can drive the bus and continue working with the Ice Factor program, which is an unbelievable program there with Murray Shaw. So blessed to be a part of it.
Hey, Numbers, I can't tell you, I love your passion. Even when we were down there with the Ice Hockey Classic, you put in hours, your son put in hours, you helped us with Stop Concussions, and we're here for you. I'm enjoying this journey with you, just like a proud papa. So I know Paul's going to help me get, I think you're older than that, but we'll leave it at that. Hey, listen, there's some really good comments here. I want to do a shout out, to John Bellick. Thank you for joining us on the show. Bill, a very good friend of Mark Weber's. I want to say, hi, Mark. How are you, buddy? All the great things that you've done for ice hockey throughout the years. And, of course, being a part of the board with you, Bill's going to be a huge advantage. So, John, thank you for the support for the Melbourne Mustangs. What does it mean to both of you? Obviously, Numbers, you're new to the game. Meeting Paul is no question an asset, and he's going to help grow the game with you, Numbers. But Bill, how important is it to have people like Mark Weber's of the world, and now John Bellick, part of he's the engine behind the Melbourne Mustangs. You must feel really proud that obviously you're getting support not only from the community but outside in the real hockey world.
I really respect these people and I thank them. They're amazing people in sport. They're selfless. They are only there to help others. And, my mentor is Gary Farmer. That's a person I look up to. If Gary Farmer didn't come to Australia and help with our program, it wouldn't be where it is. You've got to, there's the man himself. Like, he is amazing what he can do on a sled and the way he empowers you to be your best in a positive way. And Numbers, I'm hoping with Paul in your corner, he can be the person that you look up to and mentors you. and you can take your inspiration from him, because it's a really important thing to have someone that you have that respect with. And Paul, you've just come up. Gary is an amazing man.
He was the engine behind the UK, behind Britain's hockey. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I've just got so much respect for the man, and he's just phenomenal. We wouldn't be here without him in Australia.
Well, I remember a quick story. I remember when I came on the ice with you guys, and I don't think anybody really knew. I hadn't been in my sled in almost 6 years. I had some mental health issues, and I told Gouche I would bring my stuff, and got on with some of the kids. And then in the intermission, I come on and I see farmers there, and I remember playing against the UK in Torino, and the team wasn't great, but he was world class. He could have played on Canada. He could have made our team Canada. He was excellent. And all of a sudden, I hadn't had a shot really, and a real good quality shot. And I'm going to say 7 years. He's got a breakaway on me. I don't know if you remember this. And
I do.
He ripped one, and I made the stop. And in my mind, like, there's 18,000 people going crazy. And in my mind, I'm going, oh my God, I am so lucky, because I had no clue that he was going to shoot. I had no clue he was taking this serious. And I thought he was going to make me look like an idiot, because I hadn't been in my sled in so long. There was smoke when I opened my bag that came out of it. But
no, those were moths. That wasn't smoke. Those were moths. Now look at numbers. This is the save he made, but it was in a different. This is the exact same, right? Farmer.
Yeah, that's in Torino, off of the great.
There it is. Look at that one.
Yeah, they're both actually from Torino, and they're both off of the great Rolf Einer Pedersen.
Hey, listen, there's a couple more pictures I want to show here. This one was great. I actually had tears in my eyes. This was in Brisbane. That young boy came out, and I was so enamored by the young boy, and the way you handled him, Paul, and the way you brought those guys around, and they were chanting on the ice. I was just, wow, what a moment. And then this moment, I think if all I can do is give the canvas for you guys to paint. So when we built the Ice Hockey Classic, who knew we would have 18,000 people in a rink in Sydney, Australia? And this is a proud moment. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that brought tears to my eyes, because you guys were just getting ready to leave. You were leaving in a few months, and it's hard to really put into words when you get a chance to put the jersey on of the country that you represent. Whether it's Canada for me or Australia for you guys. And Bill, you've done it. Numbers, you will do it. It's very difficult to explain to somebody what the pride of putting your country jersey on.
Just go back to that last photo there. This was a massive moment. This was Stop Concussions in Melbourne, and we were given some ice time. And Gary Farmer up the back there with the nice shiny head in the Australian jersey.
Yeah,
we reserved number 13 and presented him with lifetime membership and the jersey in respect for him being our head coach and the setup of our program. Kneeling down in the front, there you go. The best player for Australia, Nathan Walker, and Pam Kavanagh helping it start off, and also on the right, the big man sitting over there, Andy McDowell. So, it was amazing, and to be allowed to do that in front of all those people you've got to thank you, Kerry, and it's massive for Gary, and he really cherishes that jersey. So,
well, I saw Nathan Tanner also. It's Nate Tanner, isn't it?
Legs.
Yep, legs.
Yeah.
Legs,
he's always on our show. Just a wonderful kid. Okay, so Numbers, I know you're obviously, we don't want to keep too much of your time. We want to talk a little bit more with Bill, but as we let you go, talk to us about obviously your experience up until now. I know that Sam's going to come back up and talk about the future, but right up until now, the excitement, the adrenaline, you got to be pumped. You know, I know Paul and you are going to get on some video calls, and you guys are going to, you know, Paul's going to show you the right hand, how he makes that save. And I can tell you, from a guy that was a pretty good goal scorer in my life, I go on the ice with Paul, and if I deke him, it's not fair because, you know, I got silky mitts. It's scary. But when I shoot on Paul, I can't score. Like, I scored once. It was a sick backhand.
Yes, it was.
You weren't looking, but it was a sick backhand. But if you stand in front, maybe 10 feet, 7 feet out from Paul, full on slap shot, there are not many guys, Paul, and you can attest to that can beat you on your glove hand.
No, Mike, and this is what I'm so excited about Numbers is because we've got that baseball catching experience, and that was the biggest difference with me and my success is that, you know, we're the most important thing for us right away is to get you comfortable in the sled. Once you're comfortable in the sled and we teach you angles and different little things, you know, getting square to the puck, I am not worried at all that the glove is going to take over and nobody's going to beat you on the glove side. Yeah. What we have to do is get every other part of your game to a success level. So when you put that Australian jersey on, everybody around you is going to work as a team.
Beautiful.
Hey, listen, obviously Coop's young son says, I'll score on Rosie. So here's what we're going to do. Coops, we're going to get you on the show in a couple of weeks, and we'll have a little bet going on if Coops can score. If the Gouche can't score against him, Coops, I'm going to say it's going to be tough.
I think Coops should be in a sled. What do you reckon?
No, good.
He's not going to be in a sled.
Properly, we'll put him in a sled.
Oh, Coops, absolutely.
Yeah. But Coops can stand up. The challenge I do and I've had Gary Lehman, I've had Shane Corson, I've had, you know, guys that have been in the NHL and won a lot of stuff. You know, we'll go out at the hash marks. I'll give him 10 pucks, and if he scores 2, I'm going to be surprised.
And that's what Gary Lehman scored 50. Absolutely. Hey, and Gary Lehman only scored 50 goals for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So, Coops, I think I'm putting some money on Paul. There you go. Hey, listen, final question has to come to Sammy for Numbers.
Yeah, look, Numbers, there's 2 things I want to say. One, you know what cricket is, right? Obviously, you've played baseball, so you understand cricket, right? Gouche thinks I played cricket for the Australian country, so that's my kind of cricketing. One step below kind of state, but I played for my state, but not in state country more. You know what I mean? Gouche thinks he's going to get the paddle, and he's going to find it really easy. Now, I have Jason Gillespie. I coach Jason Gillespie's son. Jason's going to be on our show in a couple of weeks, if not next week. We've got I think I've still got about 135 still in the shoulder coming up. How do you think Gouche is going to go?
Mate, he should do all right. If he's swung a bat before, he'll be right. But that ball coming at you pretty quick with that bounce is it's going to hit him.
Yeah, he's going to need to have all of the goalie gear just to get out of there without a bruise, I'm reckoning.
Yeah.
Now, with future goals, you need helpers. What can we do? What can everyone jump on and do? Especially because I'm going to be hammering the boys at Agile and the boys at the arena with the backing of Stop Concussions and Gouche throwing their weight. What can we jump in and do to make sure you reach your goals and that Bill reaches his in SA as well?
Yeah, just to get the word out there at the moment. I've put my hand up to do whatever it takes to help Bill out. Bill's going to work closely with us. We've got some funding already on the way. Got to get the sleds out there and basically just get JB to sign off on the ice time. And, you know, we're putting a new pad in the next couple of weeks or the next month. So that's going to be awesome. There should be some time freed up there to get some ice time. But, I've already spoken to a few of my mates. I've got some ex-American baseballers that are here, and they all want to join and play in the local league on the off season and things like that. So, I've got a lot of guys who want to get involved, and I just can't wait to help out and get in touch with Limbs for Life here in Adelaide. So, just to help out the amputee world out here and get this sport going and get it growing. That's one of my other goals. I just want a huge program here in Adelaide, so we can all
Numbers.
work hard. Hey, mate.
Numbers, I can't thank you enough for what you're doing as an inspiration to all of us. You know, I've said this to Paul before. We've all had tragedies. We've all had loss. Just losing a limb for me is just amazing that you can be so optimistic. I know there's some dark times. I know there's got to be some times when you shed a tear. I've watched Paul rise to the occasion and bring people to their feet. He's an inspirational speaker. You have a gift now. Don't let this gift go. Let Paul, listen to Paul. Paul is going to help direct the traffic for you. And there's no better a mentor than Paul Rosen for you to help you not only achieve your goals, but to what you can do to open the doors for so many that'll say, I can't do it. And you know what? Look what Paul did at 46. Incredible.
Yeah.
Paul Rosen, final word, Paul.
I just want to, you know, and it's like everything, man. If you put your mind to it, you work hard, you can do it. Like I said, I want to see you at the top of the mountain, brother, because the view is spectacular. You know, the one thing we haven't asked Numbers, what number are you going to be?
Yeah, well, I think I have to go.
Watch it,
7, mate.
Whoa! What's the jersey behind you there? What's the jersey behind you?
There's a Gouche 29.
25. Primo.
Hello.
There's a Gouche 29. There's a Primo 25. How come there's not a Rosen 57 back there?
Hey, I haven't got one yet from you, mate. Don't worry.
Okay,
once it arrives,
no, what number? Is there a special number that you've worn over the year in baseball that means a lot to you? What number are you going to wear?
My whole life has been 03. So
okay, that doesn't go in baseball.
Yeah, 03. I've had my whole life.
I don't think 03 is going to work in hockey, brother.
All right. Let me ask you this question. We'll ask this to Bill. Is there a 57 in the Australian team yet? Is there a player in Australia playing with the number 57?
Not that I know of.
Bill's
all right. We'll ask Billy.
Yeah.
We'll ask Billy in a sec, and we're wrapping it up. Numbers, thank you. Final word to you. What do you got to say to us, bud?
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate all the support and everything. Love the show. And, I can't wait just to get at it. And, Rosie, we'll be talking a lot real soon, mate. I can't wait to get at it.
In honor of Sam Lovin, Don Cherry, who has been a good friend of mine and a huge mentor over the years, I'm going to end this for you, Numbers, the way Cherry would do it, okay? He's a good kid, that Numbers. He's a big boy. He's a tough kid. He's not going to wear a visor. He's going to wear a mask. He's a tough kid from Australia. He's going to play goal for Australia. He's a good kid, tough kid. Go Numbers.
Hey, thanks, Rosie. Love it.
Hey, Numbers. Hey, you better spend some time on your fantasy league because this rookie's kicking your ass.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul.
Fantasy league, but it's I've struggled the last few weeks.
You're probably a bit busy.
Half my team is all Flyers, and the month of March wasn't very good for the Flyers. So I hope we're coming back.
We should maybe be talking about Numbers being the goalie for the Philadelphia Flyers. Hey, Numbers, thank you, bud. Fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
As Paul says, you're a good kid.
Thanks.
Take care, man.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Hey, listen, we're going to wrap the show up with Bill. I want to talk a little bit about, Paul, this gear is expensive. The overall concept of it's not just a normal hockey team, and I make that no disrespect. You guys are incredible athletes, but it takes a little bit more to make it all work, and the equipment's a little bit different, and obviously those sleds aren't cheap. And so I want to talk to Bill and find out what their plan is. So, Bill, before we let you go, obviously Paul and I are indebted to Coops and his family for what they've done for the Ice Hockey Classic. What can we do to help? And when it comes to equipment, as Paul would know, these sleds are, I'm sure, not inexpensive. I'm sure the sticks and all the gear and all the logistics are difficult. What can we do to help?
The biggest thing is have people who are passionate in the sport and they want to be involved. If we can get that, we get most of our funding through Paralympics Australia, through their programs to develop sports. So if they can see that there's a need and they're going to be used, and there's a future, that helps us get the funding. When we break down the sleds, we need to have sleds there for people to try. Once people actually have their own sport focus, then a sled is the same sort of price as a pair of skates, because skates now in Australia are $1,500 for top line skates, or $1,300. So, you know, you're talking similar sort of price once you have chosen your destiny. But the issue is we have to have sleds for people to say, do I like it? And then to have people who are, maybe they play stand-up hockey and they're going to jump in a sled to support the program. So they're not going to go buy a second sled.
No.
When that's another $1,000-odd. So we are trying to get funding from every way we can. We need to support it. Our vision is to have Townsville, Newcastle, Sydney's got sleds there, some down in Tasmania, some in Darwin, South Australia. I put in for a major grant to try and cover all these areas, but I don't know if that'll come to fruition. But we need to build on the states as they emerge. And South Australia now, we've got people there with the passion. We have to get sleds there to support them so they can get a program going.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Paul.
It's similar to like where I started playing my club hockey, the Markham Islanders. So they had like 15 sleds, and that was for any able-bodied guy that was going to come out and try it. And then the players that were disabled, through their funding or through different things that they had through ramps or whatever, they could get their sleds custom, because the player who's disabled needs a custom sled. He needs it to his disability or her disability, as you know that. And for a guy like Numbers in goal, he's going to need everything from the waist up that an able-bodied goalie would need: the chest and arm, the catcher, the blocker, the face mask. Those pucks come in hard, and you want to be protected. And then down below, a pad, or look, with Numbers, we'll get him one pad because it'll be protected on the full leg, and a good goalie sled. You know, it's like $2,500, close to $3,000 in Canada. I know we'll definitely work together. I don't know where you're getting your sleds made, but there's some real good workers, the real good companies making them, and hopefully Marshall will help out in getting the manufacturers together. The sticks, you know, it's not cheap.
We
Listen, Paul,
usually
I
get
think,
most of our sleds from Unique.
Yeah, same thing. Yep, they're the best. Yep, they're the best.
So, Paul, what I can commit to, and I know you and I'll work hard on it, we'll get Numbers all the gear. I'll find all the upper body. We'll get him. Why don't we get him a Paul Rosen made glove? Because it's got some magic in it.
Is that legal?
That was TPS.
What is
Louisville TPS made my stuff.
Well, they don't make that anymore. Those are dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You and I, Paul, we're gonna get Numbers a set of equipment, and then we got to work on the sled. The sled may be out of my budget, but I'm personally. Yeah.
What Bill said, Unique in Peterborough, Ontario, is they are the Cadillac right now.
And you know them, Paul?
Yeah, I know them very well.
All right, we'll make a call and we'll start working the numbers. Get it? We'll start working the numbers for the. There it is.
That is a class. That is a custom made sled.
That's a brand new goalie sled forward facing.
Yeah.
Bill, can you pop that up again? The part that sits to the ice, is that how it stays, or is there a blade, or is that it? Is that the mounted piece that goes against the ice?
Those are the blades
There
right
we go.
there.
This one's
Come a little
got
bit closer.
Yeah, those are the blades
Oh, so
right
it's got
there.
two blades. Gotcha.
It's got blades on the side, and this one's got a sheet of plastic between them.
Yeah.
So they can slide side to side and use the blade to get up.
There you go.
So that sled's actually for another guy who's at a motorbike accident in Australia, who goalied for 20 years as a stand-up player.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Oh, good.
And he's had an amputation, and he cannot goalie sideways. He's tried it, and it doesn't work for him.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I like this, and the fact that he was an able-bodied goalie, he knows the game. He just has to get used to the sled.
So I think between him and Numbers,
Yeah,
there
you
could be
might-
some competition there to be number one.
Well,
No, Numbers has got us. I like.
I
the
know
other kid
that,
too,
but they're
Bill.
going to have to work
Numbers
for
is not
it.
us.
But that's their competition, not
Tell you
ours.
one thing, any
Absolutely.
country that wants to go far is going to need two good goalies. And
Exactly.
Canada right now has got two beauties in Corbin Watson and Dominic Larocque.
So in the grant application for South Australia, I'll be applying for one the same as that.
That's perfect.
Fantastic.
That's perfect.
All right, in a perfect world, Bill, where let's say the next year and then the next 5 years, where do you see para hockey being with all this great support? It's always easy. I'll do this, I'll do that. You know how people are. And then when you really need to get down to it, you got to talk the talk, but you also got to walk it. You've got no problems with numbers. We'll get him the gold gear and we'll make him look good because he's wearing number 57.
There's those
55.
names.
Hang on a sec here. There's a reason why I said 55.
He's primo.
And you got it because he's a big Flyers fan. And what was the number that Keith Primo wore before 25?
55.
At Detroit.
55.
You got it. Oh,
You
look at that.
you got a cat coming in the view with you.
Bye-bye.
Only on Gouche Live and the Rosen Report, we got animals.
So
Soon there'll be a goat.
The big
So,
thing
Paul-
I see in the next year is getting the other states up and running. New South Wales has had a couple of come and tries. They really don't have a program. So we have to get that nailed down. We have to get South Australia nailed down. And the big thing for next year is a national titles in Australia. So every state playing off with their state team, having a national titles.
Yeah,
that's critical. That's fantastic if you could do that. I'd love to be. Hopefully, COVID will be over and we could be down there to help out during it.
Can you imagine playing the final? Can you imagine playing the final as a precursor to the Ice Hockey Classic?
Oh boy,
that'd be amazing.
Imagine that with that big of a crowd. That would be freaking awesome.
So one of the things that we are planning, we were working with the Ice Factor, obviously with the Corona Boomerangs. They were going to play in front of the game in Auckland. And now, Bill, we're trying to, and we're going to pull this off. We just got to get rid of that COVID thing. We are planning to do an outdoor game in Queenstown. So we'll work with you. We'll see what we can do. Everybody, funding is always the biggest issue. Maybe there's an opportunity too. We can have sledge hockey as a game within that week. It could be a game against the New Zealanders and Australia. Big dreams, but I'll tell you what, with minds like this, I think we could pull that off. So where do you see us in 5 years? Where do you see para hockey as it grows? And you're going to need more support from not only the corporate world, but I also think, guys like Paul and Paul, I'm sure Billy Bridges could come on some sort of virtual video call with the goal scorers, and I'm sure their defense and all that sort of stuff. What do you see?
I'd like to see within the 5 years that we get some funding to bring people like Billy to Australia, bring back Gary Farmer because he's gone back to England for a training clinic in Australia. Big people who have massive respect and knowledge for the sport. And from there, I'd like to see us in Beeple.
Yeah. Well, I could definitely work it out that a guy like Billy, a guy like Greg Westlake, who's the captain and my roommate for a long time, myself, work with the goalies, Gary, who is unbelievably respected in the game. Absolutely. That's how you're going to take it to the next level.
Yeah, 100% agree. And we've got some things in place that we're trying to work on for those sorts of things. There's a lot of work going on in the background. And like I say, this has taken 2 years to come through. And some people might be sitting back saying, oh, people haven't been doing anything. Or over this last COVID situation, we have still been working our guts out and trying to get things planned to go forward. There's some work to try and do some stuff with some Indigenous youth in some of the states. Trying to get things, and that might come through helping them with floorball to get them involved in the sport. Just people get involved in the sport and to help people out. And there's massive programs, and I can see that South Australia is now going to be a force to be reckoned with. So that's going to be great.
Well, with Sammy there, and of course, already got the numbers. We're really blessed. Hey, listen, Bill, all the best. You know, you have our full support, as much backing as we possibly can. Obviously, with COVID, we've been restricted, but don't think we're not thinking of you. And when I saw that press release, I was blown away by it. And I knew you did do a lot of work. We've been talking several times about different things. So I think we're really excited, buddy, for you and for all of para hockey. So thank you for all that you do. And we look forward to being there in the next, I would say, let's say a year or so. And let's get it Let's get it started, guys. I'm excited.
And just one other thing, you do realise it's full checking, Sammy. If you're on the ice, you're coming off the ground.
Hey, mate, that's the reason I love hockey. I can't wait for that, but I figure there's no point trying to blue someone if I can't score a goal yet. So I'm getting there bit by bit. I love that stuff.
JB's piping in and saying the arena still has some sleds hiding above the adrenaline room. We'll take a peek at that. Do they have an XXL to fit Sammy's back end in there?
On that, it's probably, this is something people probably don't know, is 20 odd years ago, all the sleds for the first sleds in the first para hockey program in Australia was actually in South Australia, and the Submarine Corporation made all the sleds out of stainless steel pipe. So they're actually, the majority of them are in Melbourne, which I want to make sure some go back to hang on their walls. And that's where sled hockey back in the day was in South Australia. The sleds really aren't up to a safe limit to use this day and age.
Yeah, they've
got plastic chairs screwed to them.
Yeah.
So
those old school days, yeah. I saw some of the original ones when the game was invented in the 50s in Sweden, and yeah, you could hurt somebody with those sleds.
Yeah.
All right, Bill, thank you very much for all that you do. We look forward to working with you over the next few months. I know Paul it's already churning, and we'll get some stuff at you, and really look forward to working with you, bud.
Thanks heaps.
Thanks, Bill. Take care, Bill.
What a great guy. Hey, listen, I met him years back in it, and he's just been a force to be reckoned with. You know, he's got the dream, he's got the vision, and certainly he's got good people behind him, and we're looking forward to helping him out. Paul, I can't thank you for taking time with us today. Obviously, I know how busy you are. There's a big game on right now that I'm going right up to my room, and I'm going to be watching, obviously, my buddy Burnsy. And here's a great guy too, Bruce Poling, big goaltender, nice work, has helped us tremendously as a backup goalie several times on our Ice Hockey Classic. Bruce, I hope everything's going well, and we look forward to hooking up with you. And Bruce, you know what, you can certainly help us with numbers also, because I know you're a very good goaltender and certainly can help us out there. Paul, you've heard, you know the numbers story. You've listened to Bill. You've been over there. We've been on the ice with the kids. You saw the enthusiasm from these young kids. What does it take? Like, what do you, if you could say to Bill, here's my 2 points that I really think would help you make sure this is a success.
Okay,
what would those be?
Number one is grassroots. We got to get into all the rehabilitation centers, all the hospitals. We got to show the little boys and girls, because it's a game for both. And we got to get them to understand that disability is a mindset. You know, ability comes through disability, and we got to get them on the ice. We get them to love this game. From that, we will find players that will play for the country when it gets to the Paralympic level or to that level of competitiveness. But first, before that, we got to get as many people on the ice to try this game and love it. To get it to the next level, like Bill said, we have to have camps, and those camps have to be with world-class players like a Greg Westlake, like a Gary Farmer, like a Billy Bridges. That's how you get the youth in Australia to understand that they can play for their country. And then there's going to be hockey players that always wanted to play the game but became disabled from cancer or from an injury, and they can do the ultimate, play for their country in a different way, in a sled, para hockey. It's no matter how you say it, it's the most incredible game in the world. And when you get a chance to play it for your country, it is the ultimate.
Well, I know that with you behind it, Rosie, we can do some great things. So thank you for always being there for us. And I can't wait. Sports for disabled is so limited. This is such a great option. It's about coaching the kids. Yes, no question. And I know we'll be doing a great job with that. And of course, Variety. It's a big charity. I think in Canada, it's the Variety, the children's charity. I think it's called Variety Village, or I'm not sure. We did an event with them last couple of years ago. They were amazing to work with. I think that's another area where you can reach out to. And I know Bill's got it together. I know he's already talking with the para organization. The Olympics are on. There's got to be a real good excitement about it. So again, thank you, Rosie, for all that you do. And we'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget, on Monday, we've got our big show. It's trade deadline. Already a few trades happening. We'll be dealing with that on Monday. Thanks, Rosie.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Paul. Always a pleasure.
Say hi to Marnie.
Yeah, I was going to say Marnie says hi.
Bye,
See
guys.
ya.
That was fantastic that Paul took some time to be with us tonight. Thanks, Paul, for your insight to get sled hockey up and running. Well, of course, I think it's in good hands. I don't think it takes time to build these things, as you know, Sam, as we build out Stop Concussions. It always takes a little bit of time to, find the right direction and find the right people. But I think right now they've got somebody with passion. They've got people like Numbers and other guys out there and girls that have passion for the game. And it's just, you know what? The seed's been planted. Now we got to water it. And the only way you can make it grow, yes, it's to get it to grassroots, but they need the infrastructure. They need the ice. I know JB's right here. The cat is back. And JB will help us a little bit with ice time. We know that they're going to help us tremendously with ice time. JB, don't forget, they need your help. And of course, Mark Weber, making it. Para Australia is here and now, and thanks to Bill. Closing words to you, buddy.
Variety is here in Australia, and definitely in South Australia is huge. And I think with what's going on with Numbers, that there'll be a chance here for them to jump on board and to be a great time, because look, he's going to get it up and running. There's no doubt about that. He's not going to get it up and running. So for Variety to jump on board, or even Novita, any of the disability kind of funding places, for them to jump in now, I think there can be something made happen. It's an exciting time.
Of course, I'm asking JB to donate a couple hours of ice, and I hear this one. I couldn't hear you. Indiana was talking. Love you, JB. Love you, Agile Group. Listen, just the fact that you're putting in a new rink area for all of this is absolutely not just for para hockey, please, but you're doing an amazing job. Final word to you, Sam, and then we got to get up to San Jose versus LA Kings. It's a big game for our buddy.
Well, one thing, I just want to say a shout out to Captain Zipperhead. Riley Mills is my guardian angel. My best friend and I, we jump online and play a bit of gaming because Marnie got me into it. And Riley's watching at the moment. So a shout out to Riley. This is the kid that just comes and saves me, Gouche. You can have 20 bad guys around you, and this kid just comes, don't worry, Sam, I got you. Boom, boom, boom. Just, I when I was young, my dad would play. And my dad was terrible. And I thought, I'm never going to be that person. I'm never going to be that dad. I'm that dad. I'm that dad. Marnie makes me look so bad at that as well. But that's not telling you anything you don't know. She's sitting here looking at me right now.
Where's our beautiful? Where's my child? Where's my little child?
She can't get away. You know how to do that.
Hi, beautiful.
Hi.
All right. Good to see you, sweetheart. Sell those waffles. All right, guys, thank you for watching Gouche Live, Aussie Style. Look forward to next week's show. Listen, we've had a couple of great shows. Obviously, this one, sending the message and delivering is fantastic. Last week, obviously, with Rowena Mobbs and Natalie Perkins was outstanding. I know we're going to have a couple more concussion-related shows coming up just to make sure that we're pushing the envelope, making sure people understand you got to take care of this noggin because you only get one of them. And, of course, Sam, all that you do is tremendous. We can't do it without you. Sam Trapolino, thank you for being with us on the Gouche Live Aussie Style.
Pleasure, buddy. Absolute pleasure.
Good night, buddy.
Good night.
Hey,
Good evening. Good
enjoy
lunch.
that veg. Enjoy that Vegemite.
You gotta love it.
See you, bud.
See you, mate.